Coming up on Sports Night.
Football opens up with its first of 2 games at Wrigley Field.
Field hockey gears up for the NCAA tournament.
Men's basketball continues its non-conference slate at Welsh Ryan Arena.
Leo, this is the final edition of Sports Night before Thanksgiving, and I personally am so excited to be here.
Yeah, and I'm really honored to be anchoring with you a second time, Braden. But we really killed the show back in the basement in February.
You do know it was Miguel back in February, right? It was not me.
Oh man, you're so right. Honest mistake, okay? Let's move on.
It's Sports Night right now. Welcome to Sports Night. I'm Braden Olson alongside Leo Tesler.
It's crossover season, so we've got a stacked lineup of Northwestern sports to get through tonight.
Speaking of stacked lineups, Leo, you still having nightmares about the Dodgers?
You know, we don't have to talk about that. Let's move on to Northwestern football instead. Wrigley Field is one of baseball's most renowned cathedrals, but last week it played host to Northwestern football as it welcomed number 2 Ohio State. Our very own Michael Capobianco and Braden Olson took the trip down to the friendly confines the day before the game.
Coming to you live here from Wrigley Field, I'm Michael Capobianco here for NNN Sports as Northwestern taking on number 2 Ohio State at the friendly confines. Wrigley Field, not traditionally a football field. In fact, it hosts Chicago's beloved baseball team, the Chicago Cubs, since 1914. It's the second oldest ballpark in the entire country, and it's a stadium rich with tradition and history. In 1988, it finally got lights. It has a rich history of ivy across the outfield, and the original scoreboard is still intact. But Wrigley Field is no stranger to football. The Chicago Bears played at Wrigley from 1921 to 1970. Wrigley's also hosted a bunch of other college football games throughout its history. It should be an exciting one here.
I'm Braden Olson standing here at Wrigley Field where Northwestern football is getting ready to take on the number 2 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, Northwestern played here last year. They took on the Iowa Hawkeyes. One notable difference is that Northwestern and Ohio State are each going to have their own side with the sidelines this year. Last year when the Cats took on the Hawkeyes, both sides shared a sideline on one side of the field. I'm standing here by one of the Wrigley Field end zones. Now, as you can see, these end zones are normal size. There's nothing different about the size of the end zones. But because Wrigley Field is not necessarily intended to be played football on, you can see there's not a ton of room outside the end zone. So as receivers are running into the end zone with all that momentum they have, they're going to have to stop themselves a little earlier because there's not a ton of room outside of the end zone. Now, Coach Braun is no stranger to Wrigley Field. He attended his first baseball game ever with his dad at Wrigley Field when he was a kid.
You know, having an opportunity now with our family here in the Chicagoland area to take our boys down to Wrigley a couple times and you know, them being able to experience that and then, you know, have an opportunity to coach a Big Ten football game now for a second time and soon to be a third time later in the season. All things that, you know, really grateful for the opportunity.
His team played at Wrigley Field against Iowa last year. Now the Cats are looking to reverse the outcome from last year where they lost to the Hawkeyes 10-7. They're looking to make a statement victory over the highest ranked opponent they've played since they played then number 2 Ohio State in 2022.
It truly is one of the most unique atmospheres in college football this season. Always a treat to be playing at Wrigley. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Michael and Braden. Now let's turn to the game itself.
Coming off a bye week and looking to earn its second straight win, Northwestern football hosted Ohio State at one of the most iconic venues in sports. Northwestern made its way down south to the friendly confines to take on number 2 ranked Ohio State. The Cats are driving on their first possession. Jack Lausch takes off, but Jack Sawyer gets a big punch out. Both teams were held scoreless in the first quarter. Northwestern on offense, and it's faced with 3rd and 10. Lausch moves around in the pocket and finds Bryce Kurtz in the middle of the field for a 12-yard gain and a first down. 3 plays later, Cats on Ohio State's 8-yard line, and Lausch takes the QB draw all the way to the end zone. Northwestern takes a 7-0 lead on the number 2 team in the country. But the Buckeyes came alive on the next drive. Quinshawn Judkins punches it in from 1 yard out. Game is now tied at 7. And You're not seeing double, folks. OSU at the 1 on its next drive, and Judkins takes it again for a score. Ohio State would score one more time to make it 21-7 at halftime. And Ohio State continued to pile it on. Following an earlier touchdown, Jaden Fielding hits a 28-yard field goal to make it 31-7, and Northwestern now with one more chance for a miracle on 4th and 8. Lausch stays calm in the pocket. He finds Kurtz over the middle of the field for a 20-yard gain. Now 3 plays later, Lausch is rolling left. He's looking for an open man. He's still looking, and he hits Calvin Johnson II towards the sideline for a 23-yard gain. Hope is not dead just yet. But Northwestern would ultimately turn the ball over on downs, and Ohio State won 31-7, surviving an early scare at Wrigley Field. Meanwhile, the Cats moved to 4-6 on the season with just 2 games left to go. And the Cats will look to keep their bowl hopes alive this Saturday when they head up to Ann Arbor to face the defending national championship Michigan Wolverines in the Big House. While
last week was homecoming for Northwestern, this week will be a different kind of homecoming for Northwestern's grad student wide receiver A.J. Henning as the Cats take on Michigan at the Big House. Sammy Krimstein has the story.
Thanks, guys. Let's start by going back in time. September 17th, 2022, and that right there is A.J. Henning before he transferred to Northwestern for the 2023 season. Henning was breaking tackles, scoring touchdowns for the Michigan Wolverines back then. This punt return TD right here would be his last time scoring at the Big House before he hit the transfer portal. But this Saturday, Henning returns to Ann Arbor for the first time since leaving. I was able to catch up with AJ, who said he'll be looking to take it to the house at the Big House once again.
I mean, anytime you get in the end zone as a player, it's an incredible feeling, and to do it in front of that type of crowd, you know, it's something I'm looking to replicate again this Saturday for sure.
Henning has found the end zone 8 times in 22 games at Northwestern. He was named an All-Big Ten honorable mention last season and just recently eclipsed 1,000 career receiving yards. Although he's been a Wildcat for almost 2 full seasons now, Henning still maintains many of the relationships he built while at Michigan.
Once you get on the team and you're in an environment like that, it's a brotherhood, and it truly goes beyond just, you know, the sport of football. And I think that's what makes football so special, is because you bond and you create memories and bonds that last a lifetime.
Since joining his new football family here at Northwestern, Henning's dedication and energy has left quite the impression on head coach David Braun and veteran running back Cam Porter.
I think AJ's only missed 1 practice this entire year, fall camp throughout the entire season. But it just speaks to his competitiveness, his commitment to this team.
And his energy is contagious. You know, you guys want to be around him. They want to, you know, feel that energy, feel that passion, man, and that's what he embodies.
Henning's energy can be seen on the field and on the internet, where Henning has gained a big social media following, has over 570,000 followers on TikTok, enough to fill the Big House 5 times.
I definitely walked in on some, you know, unique TikToks being made. That's kind of his niche.
Last year, Henning bought into what it means to be a Wildcat, helping lead the team to a bowl victory in his first season at Northwestern.
People may doubt the team, but, you know, we always have the expectation for ourselves that we're going to go out there and we're going to, you know, work our tail off and fight for victory each and every day.
Henning is among a core group of players in their last season for Northwestern. Coach Braun is using that as motivation for Northwestern to win their final 2 games and clinch bowl eligibility.
We got 12 days left in the regular season with this group. 2 guaranteed opportunities with a really special group of young men. Like, let's go battle our butts off and extend that opportunity.
For Henning, a win on Saturday at Michigan would be extra special.
I'm an alumni of the university. Returning there and getting a win in that stadium would mean a lot to me.
A.J. Henning returns to the Big House this Saturday, Northwestern taking on Michigan at 2:30 Central Time.
Henning leads Northwestern with 3 receiving touchdowns going into Saturday's game, so look for him to continue to be a big part of the Wildcats' offense.
Coming up, women's basketball battles a tough Utah team at home.
Trying to work my way out of the prison system was the most difficult challenge of my life. It only became tangible once I became a Northwestern student.
1, 2, 3, 4.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back to Sports Night. Braden, I don't know how you managed to keep your composure in Wrigley as a Guardians fan.
I know, Leo. The one time I want an Ohio team to lose to an Illinois team, the complete opposite happens.
Well, speaking of Ohio teams, let's see how field hockey did against Miami of Ohio in the NCAA tournament. The Northwestern field hockey squad eliminated University of Miami, Ohio in the second round of the NCAA tournament on Friday. Coming off a loss to Michigan in the Big Ten Championship, Northwestern had to get their rhythm back in their first match of the national tournament. That's exactly what they did, putting up a final score of 9-2. The Cats were on the prowl from the very start. Sophomore standout Ashley Sessa gave Northwestern its first points less than 3 minutes into the match. Sessa was one of 6 Cats to put the puck in the net, and the Redhawks were down 7-0 after 32 minutes. Miami of Ohio did fight back, scoring back-to-back goals in the third quarter, but it was far too little, way too late. The Cats cruised to victory behind a combined 4 scores from Elsa Trump and Olivia Bent-Cole, and a trio of assists from Sessa. Gaining momentum, Northwestern headed into their quarterfinal matchup against number 8 Virginia.
The number 2 ranked Cats hosted number 8 Virginia on Sunday in the quarterfinals of the NCAA field hockey tournament. After 62.5 minutes of hard-fought play, Northwestern would take this matchup by a score of 3-2, sending them to the next round. Now, this game started off slow with no goals in the first period, but after a late second period goal, Virginia would hold a narrow 1-0 lead after one half of play. However, Northwestern would come alive right away in the third period with a goal from Elaine Vertoisen off the assist from Katie Jones to tie the game. Later in the period, Ashley Sessa would add a goal of her own, giving the Cats a 2-1 lead through 3. But Virginia would answer right back, tying the game at 2 less than 30 seconds into the fourth period. The action would die down after that, and the game would head into overtime. However, it took just 2 additional minutes for Lauren Wattis to find the back of the net after a penalty corner, giving Northwestern the lead and the win. This is the second straight win over the Cavaliers for the Cats, and the third in their last 5 meetings. The Cats will play UMass on Friday in Ann Arbor, Michigan for the tournament semifinals.
After a bounce-back win against quasi-intra-city rival UIC, men's basketball welcomed Eastern Illinois to Welsh Ryan Arena last Friday, hoping to continue their upward trajectory. Northwestern was back at Welsh Ryan Arena Friday night, looking to start a win streak in a non-conference showdown against the Eastern Illinois Panthers. Early in the game now, Nick Martinelli in the paint, and he gets the bucket to go. Good start for standout junior. Going to see Justin Mullins in just a minute here as we get further into this game, and he's going to be going down the baseline, and he'll finish the play with a resounding jam. Cats ahead by 10 at the half. Going into the second half in just a few seconds now, we've got Angelo Ciravino. He's going to get the offensive board here, and he'll score a gritty putback shot. Game is going to get tighter here in the second half. And Ty Berry is going to look around. He'll take it himself. He'll shoot, and he'll hit A key three-pointer, and the Cats regain the lead. Jalen Leach in crunch time, surveying his options. He's going to take it himself. He shoots. He's going to bury the three. We'll head to overtime after going basket for basket in the final minutes. Going into overtime now, Leach once again trying to make something happen. He's going to look around once again, dribble pass, and jukes his defender to hit the absolute dagger from downtown to put the Cats ahead by 7. Northwestern shuts out Eastern Illinois in overtime to secure the victory, powered by Leach's season-high 27 points in a hard-fought in-state duel.
Now, coming off a foot injury, Brooks Barnheiser made his season debut as Northwestern hosts Montana State. Northwestern with the ball early, but Jabe Mullins gets the turnover. He dribbles down the court and swings it to Brandon Walker, who takes it for the slam. Brooks Barnheiser for the Cats. He drives left, he spins, and he goes up for the righty layup. Northwestern right back in it. Montana State now on offense. Max Agbankpolo shakes his way into the paint for the score, and he gets the foul as well for the potential three-point play. Bobcats inbounding the ball. They lob it to B.J. Colley for the slam. Montana State leads Northwestern 39-34 at halftime. Nick Martinelli now dribbles in and hooks it with his left hand for the score, and Northwestern takes the lead. Bobcats down 2. Another lob to Agbankpolo. He slams it home and gets fouled once again. Just a minute left in the game. Cats up by 1. Brooks Barnheiser dribbles inside, pulls up, and scores. He scored 20 points in his return to action. Bobcats needing to score to stay in it. Jabe Mullins sends it up, and it is good. This game is tied. 40 seconds left. Barnheiser tosses it up to Matt Nicholson, and he takes it for the slam. The Cats are back on top with less than a minute. And the Wildcats needing one more stop, and it's Ty Berry who takes the ball away. Northwestern will come back to win this one 72-69. They improved to 4-1 on the young season. The Cats will look for their 4th straight victory when they host Pepperdine this Friday at 7 o'clock.
Looking to right the ship after an 0-2 start to the season, women's basketball took on 2-0 Utah at the Welsh last Thursday. Northwestern women's basketball looking for their first victory of the young season now. The Wildcats welcoming Utah to Welsh Ryan for a non-conference affair. Grace Sullivan getting Northwestern's offense started early. She puts the defense in a spin cycle, and she'll put it up and drill the turnaround fadeaway. Transfer torching early, first quarter winding down now, and Caroline Lau finds Mel Daly on the break. Daly cuts to the cup and converts. Wildcats still trail at the end of the first. Second quarter action now, Mel top of the key, money. She is scorching. Guess who's back? Kaylee Walsh in her first game of the 2024 season, getting position and getting the bucket. But Mel Daly, she's still feeling it. A three-pointer? Why the heck not? And of course, it's all net for the sensational score. Wildcats trailed big at halftime, but Daly would dig them back out of it. She fires the third quarter buzzer beater and connects. Mel Daly on fire. But unfortunately, the arena smoke detectors seemed to think so too. The game was briefly stopped early in the fourth quarter after the fire alarms went off, but that still wouldn't cool off the Cats. Offense at work in the final quarter, and Lau dishes to Taylor Thomas at the top of the key. Her three is good, and Northwestern pulls ahead. Tie game, 8 seconds left. Walsh gets into the post and finds the glass for the game winner. Look at that emotion. Northwestern hangs on and beats Utah 71-69. Wildcats finally in the win column. A feel-good win for the Cats as they inch into the meat and potatoes of their non-conference schedule. They'll welcome Harvard to town on Saturday afternoon.
Coming up, volleyball heads out west for a pair of conference matchups.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Ready, set, go!
Welcome back to Sports Night. Wow, Braden, I'm getting winded from reading all of these highlights. Crossover season is a doozy.
Well, Leo, as the saying goes, it is the most wonderful time of the year.
Christmas reference? November? With 2 Jews on desk? Let's just talk some volleyball.
Coming off a win over Iowa, volleyball headed to Oregon to face a daunting top 15 opponent. Northwestern volleyball took on the number 11 Oregon Ducks on Friday night in Eugene.
Take control of the first set. Alexa Rousseau tries to set up Captain. Western takes on Washington at Welsh Ryan Arena in some volleyball action. We'll have a showdown with the Huskies. That's looking to bounce back here. 2 teams tied at 4 early in the first set. Lauren Carter serving for Northwestern. Drew Wright with a good dig to set up the kill by Kennedy Hill. Putting Cats up for it. Hill's strong first set would not stop there. Carter gets it to Hill again, who taps it over the net, and Washington is unable to handle her shot. Huskies lead down to 1, but unfortunately for the Cats, Washington would take control of that set. Alexa Rousseau tries to set up Captain Randorf, but her attack error would seal the set for the Huskies as they win it 25-15. Cats coming out hot in the second set, taking a 7-4 lead. Carter sets up Sophia Summers, who gets the kill to put the Cats up by 4. Jumping ahead in the second set now with both teams tied at 22. Buse Hazan's serve is unable to be corralled by the Huskies. Her ace puts the Cats 2 points away from taking the second set. But Washington would rally to win the next 2 points, and now on set point, Lily Wagner's dig goes straight to Elise Hani, who gets the easy kill. Washington wins close set 2. Northwestern looking to come back down 2 sets. Rousseau sets up Hazan, who records a thunderous kill to bring the Cats within 4. But Washington would not let the Cats get close. Molly Wilson sets up Imoni Bush, who gets the kill, finishing off the sweep for the Huskies. Washington wins in 3 sets and handing the Cats their second straight loss. Just 4 games left for the Cats in the 2024 season, but likely just 1 more against a ranked opponent. They'll face number 21 USC later tonight.
After kicking off its season at the Michigan State Open, wrestling hosted Northern Illinois for its first head-to-head match of the new campaign. The Wildcats are kicking off their season with a home opener against Northern Illinois. Northwestern looking to set the tone early and build on momentum in their home mat. The Cats off to an incredibly strong start. Derek Navarro setting the pace for the night versus number 27 Blake West, which ended up being the match of the night. After a scoreless first period, West jumped out to take the lead at the end of the second after an escape and a takedown. But Navarro was not giving in. Early in the third, he earned a takedown of his own. He was determined to pull off this upset today. West escaped shortly after. A final effort from Navarro led to a scramble where he got the last-second trip to earn the come-from-behind decision win. Northwestern takes a 3-0 lead. And following Navarro, NIU's Markel Baker got the best of Masi Odiati at 133 pounds, NIU now taking over 4-3. However, following the loss, the Cats went off with 7 straight wins through the middle of their order, starting with number 10, Chris Cannon against Charles Curtis. Curtis had a huge takedown with just a minute into the first period, but Cannon quickly escaped. And Cannon had his work cut out for him, but he was hanging in there. He recorded his own takedown towards the end of the first, and then he was able to defend really well here in the beginning of the third. Then with this takedown, Cannon was able to put the match away with a decision win, bringing the Cats up 6-4. Northwestern went on to win 8 of their 10 bouts with wins from Navarro, Cannon, Chumbley, Mayfield, Martin, Cartella, Halvorsen, and Bates. Northwestern dominated the day in a 29-8 win. The Cats will look to build on their early success this Sunday when they host Little Rock, who's currently ranked 20th in the nation.
Last Friday, Northwestern traveled down south to Peoria and competed in the NCAA Midwest Regional. The Cats had a successful day, placing 3rd overall at the meet, the 3rd straight top 3 finish at the regional. Ava Earl, Chloe Wellings, and Ava Crinity were all awarded all-region honors as well. Earl placed first amongst Wildcats, finishing the race in 20 minutes and 3 seconds, and earning 8th place overall. Wellings had a personal best 20 minutes and 4 seconds, while Crinity finished at 25th place with a time of 20 minutes and 30 seconds. In terms of the other Cats, Catherine Hessler and Holly Smith finished at 30th and 31st respectively, while Jackie Holman finished in 47th place. Maddie Whitman was the final Wildcat to finish the race in 78th position. Unfortunately for Northwestern, this was also their last race of the season. Oklahoma State and Minnesota finished in 1st and 2nd to secure automatic bids to the National Cross Country Championships, and NU did not receive an at-large bid. The Wildcats had a strong season and will look to build on their success next season.
Number 5 ranked women's fencing traveled to the city of brotherly love to participate in the esteemed Elite Invitational at the University of Pennsylvania. The team followed up an opening loss to the hosts with 3 straight victories, including 2 top 12 wins versus Temple and Cornell. Junior Karen Wang led the way in this outstanding weekend with 9 individual wins, and fellow epeists Hannah Lipthay, Amanda Pierkowski, Anna Damratowski, and Rowan Park also went perfect, aiding in commanding Cat sweeps throughout the tournament. Additionally, first-year Natalie Shearer followed up her impressive undefeated saber in Louisville with a 6-3 showing in Philly. Northwestern barely fell to number 4 Princeton in their finale, but will look to bounce back in the new year when they head to Kansas City in the heart of America on January 3rd.
Now let's see where you can catch these Cats.
On Friday afternoon, field hockey travels to Ann Arbor for the NCAA semifinals and a match against Massachusetts.
Later that night, men's basketball welcomes Pepperdine to Welsh Ryan Arena.
And on Saturday, Northwestern football will be at the Big House to face Michigan in their penultimate regular season matchup.
When we come back, we'll have everybody's favorite segment, Plays of the Week. Don't go anywhere.
I'm Kelly McEvers, founding host of the NPR podcast Embedded.
I'm James Edwards, host of the Unresolved podcast from Frontline.
I'm Antonia Cereijido, former senior producer of Anything for Selena podcast and current executive producer at Elias Studios.
My narrative, since I've been locked up and kind of made my transition, has been like redemption, accountability.
When I come into the classroom environment, every individual that sits amongst me takes education seriously.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back to Sports Night. With so many sports going on right now, I honestly wish we had 5 plays of the week.
Ah, dang it. That would have been such a great idea. I mean, do we have time to add some more?
Well, unfortunately not. We have to do them right now. So with that being said, it's time for plays of the week.
Let's get you started with some plays of the week coming up right now. Coming in at number 3, it's going to be Kaylee Walsh, back for her first game of the year, working and gets the tough bucket. With 3 seconds to go, Cats would pick up their first win.
At number 2, in basketball, we got a tie game late. Barnheiser driving in, and the lob to Nicholson for the slam and the lead. Cats would end up winning this one over Montana State.
And at number 1, big plays happening at Wrigley Field, but it's football. Lausch fires a deep pass towards the sideline, and A.J. Henning makes a remarkable diving catch for the first down.
That'll do it for us this week on Sports Night. Now, Leo, even though you called me Miguel at the beginning, it was still quite a pleasure doing this show with you.
Yeah, I mean, we've really come a long way since high school. Oh, dang it, that's the wrong guy again.
All good, honest mistake, Leo. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at NNN Sports and on Instagram at NNN_sports. For Leo Tesler, I'm Braden Olson. Have a great night and a happy Thanksgiving.